that central government will give incentive of 12 rupees and they will pay 5 rupees, state utilities pay 5 rupees, and 100 megawatt projects will come. That will be on first come, first serve basis. And the deadline was established as some 30th June. And the pressure was so much from the developers that in 1.5 months' time, 29 state regulators came up with the regulation on solar power. So that was again a game-changing thing. We were not expecting anything to grow in solar. And so the first few thousand megawatts of solar was established. This doesn't come out easily, and this has happened in power sector. Considering the success that the sector has achieved, maybe we have only done 3,000 megawatt in solar. Prime Minister Modi recently said, can we increase it to 100 gigawatt? Now, a country which has done 20,000 megawatt each year in conventional power, and maximum we have done is 40,000 megawatt. And our total capacity in renewables is only 32,000 megawatt in last 20 years, 25 years. Setting a target of 1 lakh megawatt in 5 years, anybody would say no. The option was you give 10 reasons and say, yes, it is not possible. These are the reasons. But Secretary MNRE had discussions. He said, yes, we will try to do it. And this is a development which is going on. The discussions are on. And then we came up that there are issues with respect to land, there are issues with respect to transmission line. How do you do it? It is not possible. They said, well, you have so many rooftops. To obviate the need for land, we will do 40,000 megawatt from rooftop. It will not require transmission infrastructure. And the cost of power is around 6 to 7 rupees, which is viable. We also took data from all PSUs, asking them what is the rate that they are paying, average rate. It came out to around 9 rupees. That was the commercial tariff, there were large number of PSUs paid. So our secretary has written to CAG that ask these companies, why don't they install solar power plants when it can generate at 7 rupees? Why are they wasting money? So these are some innovations which help in achieving growth targets. You have a bucket of your business as usual, and you have a bucket where you want to go, and what is the innovation that is required. So these are some of the indicators, and this is how the sector grows. These are all path-changing innovations in ideas. Otherwise, you can struggle. The people from abroad used to come and used to ask, how will this happen? I mean, how is India going for solar power capacity of 22,000 megawatt in 10 years? Because all of them were feeling the heat of the cost of power, and they said, how will you? But bundling route eliminated all that. And similarly, we are targeting another 60,000 megawatt from public and private sector. We are thinking of innovative ways. We have had discussions, and I think this is where the innovation in ideas even can change things. So this is something that has happened, and that is path changing. I just wanted to share with you. This is all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Popley. You have shown how innovation in policy and innovation in implementation of solar power has increased the renewable energy generation in the country. But still we see that the renewable energy or the alternate energy is piggyback or some other technology. I think the main reason is the high capital cost. If we say that if the capital is available at 0% interest, maybe this energy would be the only surviving energy sector in the world. So if we have to see how we can get funding at 0% interest. It is the interest cost which is offsetting all the power generation costs. So I think that is a very important thing that Mr. Popley shared with us. And now we have Mr. Mahesh D. He'll enlighten us with his ideas. Over to you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies. I'm not here to actually go and say much about innovations, but other than just tell, just to remind people of all the innovations that have happened throughout the century. If you really look back into the dawn of the mankind, the innovation has started right from that point, right from the time when, the humankind actually invented tools out of simple stones, and then went on to invent the fire and then the wheel and so on and so on and so on. If you really look at that, where are we right now at this point of time? I mean, we are now, people are into space and staying in the space for more than a year at a time, and things are there because of innovation only, purely of innovation. And if you really look at it, miniaturization is the main thing behind of the complete development of all these innovations, as you see that going forward right now. And one of the other things is, to go back and actually think, what is exactly innovation? So someone actually said that innovations and inventions are two different things. What is innovations? Innovations, nothing is but, if you can really, in our Indian words, we have a word called jugaad. I think it's nothing better than jugaad. Basically, we're making things better as we go by with the simplest things that we have actually come up with and going forward with. One of the things that I'm involved here is in the electronics manufacturing. So what I see in the ages is, if I go back to my old days of, seeing the vacuum tubes and things like that, where are we right now? At this point of time, we are at, nanometer technologies and the miniaturization, where you have the cell phones, which are more powerful than the Apollo 11 rocket that has actually placed a man on the moon in the first time. So this is innovation. This is how things have evolved over a period of time. This is the best I can say right now at this point of time, given the, was given a last moment chance to speak about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahesh. I think what he was suggesting was, like in our times, we all used to see a Bajaj scooter, never would start, and then you tilt it and put the kick, it will start. So that was innovating on that. So last is, I will have a small presentation on this innovation. Good evening, friends. This small presentation I want to do on innovation. I would take you back into the history, and my presentation is more or less divided into 3 sessions. One is we'll talk about what has happened, how the earth has got created, and where we have reached. And lastly is what are the challenges right now in terms of innovation of technology. So we have had very good presentations from Dr. Anil Gupta, who has shown ground level realities. And I will just take you back into time and bring you up to where we are, and then show what is the challenges for the future. Can you please start the clip? This is Earth getting created, the Srishti has started. छिपा था क्या कहाँ किसने ढका था उस पल तो अगम अतल जल भी कहाँ था This is 4,000 million years gone, 4,500 million years, and we have the first humanoid standing on 2 feet. This is perhaps the beginning of the thinking process, and the fight for survival starts. And we are progressing as human beings. Thinking process and evolution of the mind begins. Here we have the modern human being, the anatomically similar human being to what we are, emerged 200,000 years ago. Creation must have been very happy to see at last what it was trying to achieve over thousands of years is finally there. The thinking process, the fighting process, the mind starts developing, and the fight for survival, and the fight of the fittest, and the fight of the brightest innovator, who could innovate at that moment, only perhaps he could survive. 20,000 years ago was the start of the first civilization. Perhaps this early Mohenjo-daro or Mesopotamian civilizations, the civilizations start beginning. And then we see these hunters and gatherers, and the real innovation begins from that time. From a spear-throwing humanity to intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is where the entire human race has come to now. From maybe less than 100 meters throw to 5,500 kilometers, we can now throw the spear. We can hit the enemy. From pigeons carrying messages, from maybe drums used for messages, from maybe just blowing trumpets, to now the mobile phone. This is how the human society and the entire human race has innovated. From horse carriages, we have innovated to bullet trains. From bullock carts to maybe Ferraris. This is how the innovation is happening if we see the entire human race innovation. And you can imagine, first time fire was struck by somebody with a flint stone, they were able to cook the meat. They were able to cook the food. And now, today you have these big power plants bringing electricity right into your home. And this is perhaps your lovely place or the lovely city where you think that you would be living. And this is where we have arrived in time. There is one greatest point in the history where I felt that the entire human race felt, yes, we have done it, unitedly. That was a kind of a thought. This is 1969 when man first stepped on the moon. Neil Armstrong getting down on the surface of the moon saying, one small step for man, but a giant leap for the mankind. How true that statement was. It is these space missions, when we are able to place the satellites in the space into the geocentric orbits, that we are now having this 24-hour connectivity, live shows, live telecast. We can see Prime Minister Modi in Madison Square walking in, delivering his speech, people clapping, and we can see it almost on just a split-second gap. So this is where the innovations have brought us. This is where we are today. It is only when the entire society has innovated, entire society has improved, and some amongst our society have been the great inventors who have made sea change in the technology, and then a constant improving on those technologies have brought us to where we are. Even today, just a few days back, I was seeing how a drone, this is a drone ambulance, This can carry medicine to any floor. It can fly at 100 kilometers per hour. It can carry medicines to whatever floor you are. It can come in through your window and deliver the medicines. But these same drones could destroy anything. So this is what technology is also doing to humanity. This is how technology is being used, and this is a two-edged sword, double-edged sword. Technology is like a double-edged sword. So you can see these drones, they can destroy almost anything. This is how we are innovating every day. And what we have done till now for our own selves, we are living in cities like this, congested. Cities we are living in where we are traveling maybe 4 hours every day to office and back. Cities where we are up with traffic congestions. Traffic congestion is another huge, huge problem that we are facing. Water problem. This is drinking water is another major issue that the entire society is plagued with right now. Villages, since I have worked in the villages for very long, coming from the mining industry, so I know the plight of the villages in the country, and this is the reality. What I'm showing you here is a picture which is the reality. People have to walk miles to get drinking water for the family. Drinking water is a huge, huge problem. Now we talk about these smart cities. This is the Government of India initiative, and perhaps all over the world. Are we trying to replicate what we have created for ourselves? Are we trying to replicate the traffic jams? Are we trying to replicate the concrete jungles? Are we trying to do exactly what we have done in, say, Bangalore is such a beautiful city, now it is in such a mess. Are we trying to do the same thing to the new smart cities? Just by giving them the jargon of a smart city, I think a city is not going to become smart. I personally feel that the greatest challenge of technology today is the storage of electricity. In such an august gathering of engineers and friends, we are here today, but this is one single innovation, invention that the entire human race is waiting for. Storage of electricity. If we can produce electricity, store it, and then use it at our own will, perhaps what Mr. Popley was saying, he will require no funding. Funds will just keep pouring into his ministry. Alternate energy, you produce energy for 6-7 hours, store it, and send it whenever the requirement is. Otherwise, all thermal power plants will be producing, and they have to be used immediately at that same moment. So storage of electricity, I think, is one of the greatest challenges of technology that we are facing today. And any smart city can be called smart only if it is having zero fossil fuel